In the realm of the buying decision, three ancient guides steer all of the choice that we make. Aristotle named them ethos, logos, and pathos. In marketing, we often get caught up in logos, in logic, in the features of what we're selling. But it's the emotion, the pathos, that makes all the difference. Now, as machines threaten to overshadow human interaction and AI is everywhere we turn, the call for pathos, for that human touch in our transactions and our interactions, rings louder than ever. It's never just been about what you're selling. It's always been about how you make people feel. And that's where the real magic of marketing lies. Hey, I'm Colin Scotland, and in today's episode, we are exploring the importance of empathy in marketing and how a shift in focus can make all of the difference to your results. In the marketing landscape, Aristotle's ancient wisdom from Rhetoric, the Art of Persuasion, thousands of years ago, it holds a mirror to our practices and how we show up every day. It's a trio of pathos, logos, and ethos. And it shapes every transaction. Every decision we make to buy something is shaped by these three elements. And when you see them, as Musashi says, when you know the way broadly, you see it in all things. When you know and understand these three elements, you will see them in all areas of your business. You will recognize them as you make decisions for yourself. Of these three, pathos, the emotional resonance, is the thing that will seal the deal. We are emotional beings and we are driven by our emotional state. Embracing empathy in marketing isn't just about showcasing what your products can do. It's about finding ways to resonate with the audience, with emotions, aligning with their narrative and where they're at. You may have heard that phrase of meeting them where they're at. That's what this is truly about. It's a shift from merely explaining to truly connecting. And in this connection, in this authentic resonance, lies a marketing approach that doesn't just sell. It builds relationships. It transforms lives. Ethos is about building trust and credibility. When consumers believe you stand for quality, for integrity, for the same things as them, they're more likely to engage with your brand, with you, with what you do. So ethos is about reflecting themselves through your journey. I like to do this through origin story, through sharing behind the scenes of life and things that are going on in your world to create that connection. That sense of they get me, they understand me, they've been where I am, and they have the thing that I need to get where I want to go. Then logos is the logic, the reason, the facts, the features of your product or service. It's about demonstrating how your product or service solves a problem, fulfills a need. And we're going to get into this, but often people approach this back to front. That's the thing that people lead with rather than the icing on the cake. And when we get through this episode, you will think differently about this. You will understand that logos, the features, the things that your product or service does are just that icing on a cake. They're not the cake itself. The cake is pathos, the third in Aristotle's triad. And pathos is emotional appeal. It's forging a connection by understanding and resonating with the feelings and values of your audience. When we decide to buy, it's a dance between ethos, logos, and pathos. So we look for credibility, we seek logical solutions, or we rationalize that solution or that thing that we're going to buy. But it's driven by emotion. desire is an emotion. We desire for our lives to be different. We desire for us to be, to live, to have, to do things in a certain way. And those emotions are the precursors to us going around hunting, looking for solutions. So think about buying and selling, that whole process, as solutions to problems. And the problems stir up because we are emotional beings. They stir up because there is emotion at play that's triggering us to act in a certain way. Everything is interconnected. Everything is related. It makes sense, therefore, that we have this emotional state of dissonance, of I don't want this to be this way. There has to be a different way for me to do this. And it's that emotional trigger that begins the process of action. It begins the process of what we call in marketing and buyer behavior theory of information search, of, hey, how finding solutions, Googling, how can I fix this? How can I be better at that? How could I do more of this? How could I have less of that? And it's this emotional thing that starts this very process. So in understanding that, it no longer makes sense for us to lead with logos, with reason, with logic. How can we speak to emotions with logic? Remember when your child is screaming, banging their hands and feet on the floor because they want something and they don't understand and they're angry and they're crying. Imagine trying to reason at that moment with that person. First, you have to deal with the emotional state, and you have to create the surroundings and the circumstances for that emotion to rise and to fall. And then, from a place of calm, can you bring logic and logos into the mix? So why would your marketing be any different? Why would things be different in this context? They just wouldn't. And it makes great sense then for you to think more about meeting your ideal clients where they're at from an emotional perspective, understanding and resonating with their feelings and reflecting those back in a way that resonates with them on a deep level. The pathos, the stories, the values and the feelings evoked become a decisive factor when we decide to buy anything. This interplay shapes not just individual consumer decisions, but the broader narrative of you in the marketplace. This is where branding is founded. It's in the perceptions and the positioning of you in the minds of others. And that happens because of these things, because of the interplay of how you are perceived, of what you put out, and how you resonate with your audience. Often in marketing, there's a heavy lean towards logos. So we are very quick to highlight features, showcase logical reasons to buy, why this is good, better than this, or this will help you to do X, Y, and Z. And we're appealing to the rational part of the brain. So in advertising theory, we have emotional appeal and rational appeal. Emotional appeal appeals to the emotions. Rational appeal appeals to reason, to logic. In politics and diplomacy, you hear say of we want to win the hearts and minds, right? We want to create this sense of community. We want to capture people's hearts and minds. And so this is no different. It's born from the same psychological theory. But when we focus on mind only, it overshadows the essential part of what makes human connection. So we can list out what our product does and all of this, but in essence, what's going to make all of the difference for you is in showing people how it can make them feel, how it fits into their world. Not just that, but how their world will be different as a result. Can you see that? How will it feel? How will that difference be? What transformation will take place? And how will their lives be improved as a result? That's completely different So now we're not just going, oh, it's this, it's that, it's the other, it's this, it's that, it's the other. We're focused entirely on who you serve and meeting them where they're at. So don't fall into that trap of logos only, of here's what it is, here's what it does, here's how it helps. Focus first on pathos, on emotional resonance. Because if you don't have that emotional connection, you'll never get the sale. You'll never get that person to become a client, and you'll never have the opportunity to make magic happen in their lives with what you do. When pathos leads, your audience will create a deeper connection with you, with your brand. So some practical ways you can infuse pathos into your marketing. Personalization. So rather than sending emails from customer service or help at, send it from a person. Send it from Sharon at da-da, right? So you've got this human feel in everything that you do. Share stories. Share stories of how what you do impacts people's lives, of how you doing the thing that you do impacts your life. Share these things. People want to see behind the curtain. They want to see into your life. And in seeing into your life, they see a reflection of how their life could look. They see a possibility. They see optimism. They see inspiration. And they see hope. None of these things are thinky things now. None of these things are logos. These are all pathos, all emotional connection. Incorporate videos at different stages of the buyer journey. There's no better way, especially in the world of online, there's no better way to create connection than to hit record and put your face on a video. Show the person behind the brand. I've lost count of the amount of potential client conversations I've had with people that I've never met before. And they start the conversation with, hey, Colin, I feel like I know you. Like, I've watched your videos, I've seen you there, and everywhere I go in the journey with you, your face is there and you're like talking to me. I feel like I know you. Let's have a conversation about how we can work together. And that feeling like they know me, even though I've never, that's the first time I've actually met them in person on Zoom, right? The deliberate content, the deliberate pathos-driven content has created that connection. And from that place of connection, it is so much easier to go ahead and create a collaboration, a partnership where we can make a difference. And then ethos is all about credibility. I call it the silent supporter. So ethos is about building a foundation of trust. When your audience believes in your credibility, they're more likely to open up to the emotional narrative that you share. It's the silent supporter. It enhances the impact of pathos. By consistently showcasing integrity, the qualities, the values that drive you, you don't just satisfy the logical checklist, but you pave a way for that deeper emotional connection. Think of ethos as the foundation, the bedrock on which you focus on the power of pathos and emotional connection. Because without ethos, you don't get a foot in the door. Think about this. You walk into a doctor's office. Do you ask to see their qualifications? You don't. You make an assumption based on the visual and environmental cues you see around you, the clothing, the stethoscope, the ID tag hanging around their neck, the surroundings, the people around you. Ethos isn't about saying, I've got this qualification or that qualification. Ethos is a broader picture of creating those surroundings of trust, those circumstances, those visual cues of trust in everything that you do and say. Remember that every interaction somebody has with you is a reflection of your brand. So be intentional about that. Be intentional about how you convey ethos, credibility, and trust. And as the digital age takes us into a realm where AI and automation are just becoming the norm in marketing and business, a window of opportunity widens for us who embrace the human touch. The surge of AI amplifies the value of genuine human interaction. This is going to get more important. While machines tackle the data, the human aspect handles the emotion, the genuine connection. This is where Pathos shines, because you become a beacon of authenticity in a sea of AI and robots and computers. By nurturing the human element, not just nurturing it, embracing the human element in your marketing, you don't merely keep pace with what's going on out in the world. It sets you apart. It sets you apart because as AI dominates everything that we do, human interaction will become more important than ever. As we navigate the digital marketing waters, as the seas of change come and the tides change and the seasons change and the circumstances in which we do business are altering at what feels like a pace of knots these days, the enduring essence of human connection remains and will always remain as your true north. The heart of marketing, of Pathos, stands resilient, urging you to embrace empathy and authenticity. Maya Angelou says that people will forget what you do, they'll forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. By integrating Aristotle's timeless wisdom, you don't just market better, you connect better. And in this genuine connection, it's not just the essence of great marketing, it's the essence of meaningful interaction. It's the essence of transformation. It's the essence of making a difference in the lives of those people that you serve. So focus on that emotional connection, on pathos, on empathy, on truly seeking to understand where your ideal clients are at and meeting them there with love, with compassion. And that, my friends, is the essence of Aristotle's rhetoric, the art of persuasion, how it holds true to the way that we show up in business right now, today. How we speak to and create those emotional resonances that make all the difference and allow us to take our message to another level, to transform and serve more people with what we do. Until next time.